The language acquisition requires a lot of time to be acquired, and we don't notice much progress in the intermediate level, which we call the intermediate plateau. And the intermediate plateau it's just a psychological, let's say, feeling because we are always acquire a lot of information, understand messages, but we don't notice much progress in the comprehension, but mostly in how we get the syntax of the language. And for example, we understand all the words, but not all the phrases in a high resolution. We are getting higher in higher resolution. We are practicing reading and comprehension in the language. And when you get more information, more knowledge, we are able to articulate knowledge better. When you focus in the reading, in the kind of reading which I think it's the most worthwhile to practice is the extensive reading. You understand a lot more information, a lot more structures, and if you listen to an audiobook, a fiction audiobook, you notice that you get a lot of pronouns or verbs, which is the action of the characters. And the most you go deeper in this content, you acquire a lot of structures, which is phonetics, phonology, morphological knowledge, syntax, semantics, pragmatics, and you acquire much more knowledge if you focus in relax and just understand what are you reading and listening at the same time. And you will get progress in this road, in this way, for years, because we acquired the Portuguese for our entire life, and we achieve something about 10,000 words of vocabulary with 12 years old, and what you have to focus to get your language better and better is focus in the meaning and not in the form. And the most you focus in the meaning, you forget that that's something in another language, you get more language acquisition. And the understanding reading,
Absolutely.
it's the better approach to language acquisition in my estimation, because I practice mostly reading and not much conversation, not much, let's say, interaction like that. And the 99% of my time I acquired by reading and not trying to talk with strangers in the street, for example. I would say that I prefer much more to know things about the real world. But fiction, it's a kind of reality which it's able to convey powerful messages like the Bible stories. And I listen a chapter of Genesis
That's it.
or the book of Job.
But actually, as I said before, the two things that I started to do is start to read more. I really need to read more, much more, man, because actually, the most we read, the most we're gonna be better, you know? We want to be acquire knowledge. Those I don't mention just acquire the language, no. I mean acquire knowledge. You know?
Yeah,
Very many specific things, you know. And I really need to start to read more, to read more, you know. I wanted to try to do that. I will try to do that more, you know. I promised myself that I start to read more, because I realized that every time that I read a book in English, every time when I read something in English, you know, my English is better. My speaking, I feel my speak a little better. I feel my understandable skills a little better. And I think the reading, it's the power. Of course, listening is
yeah.
too, but reading is the power. And because that, I want to read more in English. And another thing that I really need to do is
The great problem with people have difficulty speaking is a lack of reading itself, But it's there's another problem which I noticed, that the output filter, the problem with the output filter, you take it too much to speak correctly, and not so much to speak the idea you want to convey, and sometimes you judge too much how you are speaking, even in Portuguese. You try too much to find the genius idea to impress people, and that's a problem, a psychological problem, mostly linked with the ego. And the most you get knowledge about yourself, about psychology, about the mind of the other person, which is a theory of the mind. It's a theory which it's the ability of your judge how the other person think. In your entire lives, we live just in our mind. And we are in this meeting. We don't know what it's going on outside, let's say, in another environment. We have no idea how the universe works, let's say. We just can perceive that, and we don't have any idea how that works. And when you try to filter or ideas or to speak in another language, you have difficult to explore what's your real performance, because you have the competence. We have this problem with the filter of the output. Even in your own native language, we can be not able to speak anything because we judge too much we judge too much another people. And with the consequence of this kind of mentality mindset on language or in another language, and sometimes I almost speak Portuguese. I almost speak the language here, but it's a kind of in my brain. I like it, that I think a little in English, mostly in Portuguese, but sometimes the first thing that occurs in my mind, it's something in English. That's the let's say the cause, natural cause of the reading, the result of the reading, and the cause of my capacity to be able to communicate in English comes from the reading, and the capacity to be able to perform better. It's the capacity to don't filter your output and don't filter your input at the same time. You have to relax more. You may put more energy to let's say to get more cognitive effort to use it to speak in a foreign language, which is something natural to occur, but you get better using these main two steps. Comprehend a lot of messages. You don't need to speak with natives. Most of the people in the world speak English as a second language. If you expose yourself to these different kinds of English, different accents, you are able to get more knowledge in different ways to communicate in a more flexible way. It's not a restricted convention to speak. For example, I said that some people speak either, and some people speak either. And both is correct. That's the matter. Try too much to be correctly. Focus too much in the structure instead of focusing the meaning of your message in general.